Well, last time you might have seen us digging into Riot's latest attempt at cashing out on League of Legends. Something that's not necessarily evil coming from a decently fair free-to-play game. At least compared to what's on the market these days. But the issue came from the fact that Riot's latest attempt at making money was not the most ethical one. And they pretty much revealed a recolor of a skin for $200. And the reasoning was that there are whales around League of Legends that simply want to pay more money for the game. Have you seen that meme? Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So this skin was simply not meant to be accessible by the casual League enjoyer. It was designed to be pricey so it would feel more prestigious. If you'd like to have more details on this, check out our last video. But in case you forgot, here's a super TLDR version of the situation. Riot did some market research and they found out that League can make more money than it already does. Apparently their biggest spenders, also known as whales, complained that they can't use their wallets to feel more special than the peasants. And so Riot is trying to add more cosmetics into the game that are specifically aimed at the top spenders. They are trying to make it accessible to casual players through a game of chances, but unfortunately that's how they essentially created a gacha inside League of Legends. With the first skin that is part of this being Dark Cosmic Erasure Jhin. How it works is that you'll have to buy capsules that have a 1% chance to drop the skin. But after 29 capsules, the 30th one will be guaranteed to drop the skin. Or in other words, it is a $200 skin. Someone actually did the math and they broke down the chances. Apparently halfway through, which means after spending $100, only about 10% of all players will get the skin. And at capsule 29, only 25% of all players would get it. So there is still the solid 75% chance that you will not get the skin before the pity mechanic just gives it to you. At which point, it doesn't even matter, because you're kinda forced into buying these capsules in bundles. Meaning that you very likely already purchased more than you needed. On top of this questionable way of acquisition, there is some drama about what kind of a skin it is. It is essentially a chroma skin, or in other words, a recolor, which was always previously sold for about $5, or 10 if it was a bit more special. But this one is even more special because you don't need the original skin to use it, which would be $20. No, this is a standalone skin for $200. So yes, Riot is selling us something which they sold before. Except this one is just ridiculously expensive for the sake of the illusion of rarity. Even though it's not rare, there is no stock, the price was made up. What's funny is that in the comments of the last video, you guys pointed out even more questionable things. Such as the fact that Riot did have a similar style of gambling in the past. Back when you could gamble with gemstones, which they removed because it was unethical. But also, Riot did sell legendary skin recolors before, for 1/10 of the price of the new skin. Yeah, remember Lancer Blitzcrank? I totally forgot about that one. I can imagine if that one existed now, it would be one of the $200 skins. Not to mention Lunar and Solar Eclipse Leona. These were always around 20 or $30. But here comes Riot raising the bar 7 times. Anyway, at this point it is clear that the community was not really happy with how Riot was handling this. The reason for the skin's existence is really just to make money, which you could argue is the point of every skin, but at least normally you get something unique in return, which you hardly do here. But alas, Riot listened. Which is as far as they went. They listened. They have no plans to do anything with it though, because they are curious to see how much money they can actually make with this. And we learned about all of this from Riot's response. It came in the form of a Reddit post from Riot Brightmoon, a really awesome dev I actually met at Riot together with Meddler. It's the guys who are transparent with every decision around League of Legends. Hence why this post exists. Though I have to say, it is concerning to see the post sitting at 0 upvotes. I'm gonna assume it's because the score is hidden, while also having about 1,000 comments. Anyway, let's dive in. Hey everyone, we know many of you aren't happy with Dark Cosmic Erasure Jhin. I want to clarify upfront that we aren't going to change the skin or its rollout plan. But I want to explain why and provide information on why this is something we are doing at all. Look, at least they listened. We want to offer a range of products for everyone, starting at the low end for free or for a few dollars, scaling to more premium content for more. Right now, prestige skins are the highest end of that spectrum. However, we've been getting feedback that they don't fully satisfy those who want something more rare. Now, I'm honestly curious. Where did they get the feedback from? That's not me trying to drag them down. I am genuinely curious about this. The number of whales has to be way less than 0.5% in League of Legends. They truly are a minority in the sea of very vibrant League of Legends opinions. So how did they arrive at the conclusion that players want more expensive things? Are the random surveys really that powerful? This feedback makes sense. When we originally released Prestige, we got feedback that lots of players were excited for Prestige skins, not just the folk wanting rare or exclusive content. So we made them easier to get by doing things like adding the end of year Prestige shop, putting Prestige points in event pass milestone missions, and adding the Prestige point cash out bundle to events. When we switched to Mythic Essence, we also started bringing all the Prestige skins back into the shop rotation. I suppose easier isn't the right term, given that earning a Prestige skin is still difficult, so more accessible might be the right term. In case you forgot, at the beginning, Prestige skins, which let's be honest, they were just the $10 skins, were available for gems which you bought from the store, as well as you got some of them for free by grinding the game. On average, by grinding the game a lot, you could get one of these skins for about $100. But people weren't happy about that one, and so Riot gave people more ways to earn the currencies, so they could spend less, and eventually people were able to get them for about the price of one of those weird event battle passes. So it's kinda crazy how they are turning things around. Alongside these accessibility changes, we also increased the quality of prestige skins because many of you felt they weren't worth the investment. The difference here is that the investment to obtain these skins is higher for the average player than compared to players with the means to collect them all. We still feel this is the right call, but has solidified them as content that's really painful to miss out on if it's your main. We are happy with Prestige's evolution, but these changes have shifted away from being focused specifically on those of you looking for the rarest, most exclusive things. That's right! You should also remember that at the beginning, Prestige skins were just recolors that used champagne pink. If it was champagne pink, you would know it was a Prestige skin. But after some feedback, they decided to actually give the prestigious skins unique models. Or at least upgrades to the models. What's crazy is that in this post, they agree that it was the right call to give the Prestige skins unique models. But apparently that shifted away from the original idea of having pricey skins that are not really that painful to miss out on. And this is exactly what I said in the last video. I thought the reason why the most expensive skin in the game was a recolor is because everyone can still get the cheaper normal variation. The red color would be just an expensive tag, like printing the word Supreme on a $3 hoodie. And this post pretty much confirmed I was right. They want to have more expensive items in the game for the sake of being expensive, because they will give people fake sense of rarity. But they don't want the item to be actually cool because they don't want to force people into getting them. So essentially, some people labeled this the stupid people tax. Because it is supposed to be an expensive item that doesn't give you that much in return. That is by design. Dark Cosmic Erasure Jhin is an exploration to fill this rarity ask, and how we act on the feedback we've been hearing will bear that in mind. This is why we are not changing anything before Jhin launches. Players who are asking for this kind of thing are incredibly small percent of League players. So in-game decisions give us a clear read whether something does or doesn't land with them specifically, as opposed to purely social media feedback, which is an important data point but doesn't always give us the full picture. We approach the design of the skin as mythic variant of a skin that is already available to players, Dark Cosmic, and time limited in loot, so that those who want it can have other ways to acquire it later down the road. We think these rules still allow the skin to appeal to players looking for rare content without making it inaccessible to everyone else. And here they remind us that, yeah, we may be complaining on social media, but truth be told, we are all meaningless. At the end of the day, my opinion is worthless as well as yours. I'm not actually being sarcastic, I swear to God, this is the truth. Because this is meant for the whales, and the whales will answer. And depending on the data they get, they will change their approach in the future. Again, they mentioned that they will take our voices into account, but it will be the numbers that actually change the course. I kinda wanna applaud the transparency here. Also, they bring up the fact that later down the road, people will be able to reroll for this skin. So everyone can get it, if they win the lottery. So I want to remind everyone that you can reroll into the skin by sacrificing 3 of the skins you have in your inventory and getting incredibly lucky with all the skins that are available in the game. So the chances are you're not gonna get it. There are 2 other things I want to be clear about. First, one of our core values in League has always been, and always will be, that we will not sell power regardless of how we experiment with meeting the desires of different players. How much you spend in League will not give you an advantage over those who don't spend at all. This is something we should still keep in mind. We might be molding over Riot putting a gacha system into League of Legends, but on the other hand, it is still just cosmetic. Things could be much worse. This skin doesn't actually matter for the game's mechanics, which is why it is still labeled as the stupid people tax. Second, the experiments with content like Dark Cosmic Erasure Jhin aren't taking away resources we put towards creating content for everyone else. Prestigious as mentioned above, but also regular skins, legendaries, chromas, or resources away from gameplay development. Quite the opposite, they help us fund more gameplay work. And this is another important point we should keep in mind. Because this is a recaller achieved with pretty minimal budget, that means that the resources are still going into the gameplay team, which is the team that gave us the universally praised arena for 2v2v2v2. So assuming the funds from the skin go to that team, or at least most of it, in theory the money from the whales should still be beneficial for all the players of all of Riot's games. I know this is a heated topic, and one that's not particularly easy to talk about, but I hope this post is helpful in explaining what we are trying to achieve. I will stick around to answer questions. We will also share how this exploration performed and the learnings about it in a future dev update video, so stay tuned for that. So, this is not the last time we hear from Riot about this. They will also address this in a future dev vlog video, which are those awesome videos where they are being absolutely transparent. Now, even though this is it for the post, Bright Moon went where no mortal should. Into the comment section of a Reddit post. And he took all the negative karma like a champion to answer some questions. Mainly all the answers just reflect what he said in the post. They got feedback from the whales that they want more expensive items, which should also feel more exclusive. But there were also times where he answered that even though there are players who want some skins earnable through just gameplay and engagement, the surveys showed them that there are players who just want more expensive items. Here I can bring up 2 things. First of all, I don't think League ever got a skin that was just earnable through pure gameplay. It is true that occasionally League gives you random skins for free, though not frequently, but outside of buying a scuffed battle pass, and besides that one earnable chroma skin 4 years ago, League never had a skin that would be just tied to playing the game. Even during events, it is just chroma skins for which you need to buy the original skin and you get it for currencies. So it's kinda interesting how that part was not really talked about. But on the other hand, I also wanna point out, so it was the bloody surveys after all! So, there's the update. Riot is aware of the fact that people are not happy about the $200 skin. But from what we've learned, it's not for them, so why should they care? And that's why we got a $200 skin in League of Legends. You can't say that's not transparent, can you?